Hi there. Welcome to another unofficial Twitter Newsweek, where we're going through the Twitter updates about Stellaris this week, like the most important ones I found. I want to present to you. Most of them are about the Utopia expansion that's coming, like previews, and others are just flavor, like this one. That's a very great mod. Another mod by Sylphay made another animated Stellaris portraits mod, Space Egyptian Snake Folks. If you want more cosmetic DLCs, check out her, I don't know, mods. It looks really great. I mean, free stuff like that is always amazing. Retweeted, reposted, support her. It's really good. Now, two more technologies. Ascension Theory, Ascension Perks +1. Another technology there, effectively giving you one Ascension perk, a rare one, of course, but that sounds pretty awesome. By Daniel Beauregard, one of the game designers. So what you see here is delicious food being processed. What does that mean? That is one of the purge options. They are effectively using these trees here as food for these carnivore plants. So, yeah, there is that. There is that. And it's delicious. It's delicious. So it gives 100% more food. So what do we have here? A sneak peek of the expansion tradition overhaul. What can we discern? Expansion. You get 2 pops first, then you get +1 unity from every planet. And here, expansion distance. Probably decreasing the cost for expansion distance. And planet effect tradition cost -33%. Probably means if you have another planet, the tradition cost doesn't go up like normal, but 33% less, similar to the tech trees, like this, like they actually work today. And they have another optional perk, minus growth time, and colony development speed goes up probably. And here you're getting 2 frontier outposts. What? Or rather the 2 core system cap. That's actually, I think that's more probable. So let's see what's next. What I've caught next. Time to attempt D. Beauregard's patented Hobbit strategy. Who needs wars when you have all the unity? I don't really understand that. Probably was on the stream, but I don't really have the time to watch the streams. So if somebody watched the streams, please. This is very probably a reference to one of the longer streams they made. But you can see something else interesting here. We have an agrarian idol and inwards perfection. So there are new perks for that. So you don't only have ethics, but you also have like perks for the government form. So that's going to be crazy. Let's see how that works out, right? Also, a user told me that when we see agrarian here, that absolutely makes sense now, because it seems like, I haven't looked it up myself, it was just told me, that food is now a global resource, not a local resource, which means it's similar to minerals and energy. So you have a global pool of food, which means you can effectively have planets where you only have mineral production and do not use robots. So robots are a little bit nerfed in that way, because that was the big plus, to have robots. You could like plant them on a planet and you only need global resources to specialize. Same goes for synthetics, and now this is taken away from them. I mean, you still need food, so you need a food, like a 3 resource management instead of the robotic 2 resource management of energy and minerals. Now I need food, energy and minerals in the normal people, and the robots still have a slight, the robotic society still has a slight advantage in getting only 2 resources that are needed, but it's not as big as it was before. So then, like this is partly out of the dev diary. You can see here that it's about unrest and about the events that are caused by unrest. This we haven't seen in the dev diary. So radicalization. The unrest on Waterloo has led to mounting calls from the locals for a more pronounced military presence, both on the colony and within the Savanti Imperium as a whole. So they want more military presence to bring down that unrest. There's also positive things to military presence. Like if you don't have police, you need military presence. Someone's got to put the laws in there. And you can see that with 98 unrest and just that resource output, there's something going wrong on that planet. For sure. So let's see. Then I found something else very interesting. This is from the Reddit, and it was retweeted on the Twitters. So it's a question and answer with Wiz. This is like the beef part of this thing. So we're going to get through this. In the second screen, we'll also have the link to the Reddit up there. So let's just look and read it together. So Reddit user, and thanks to Reddit, of course. Reddit is such a good community. I'm in there too. I'm not one of the big players because I only discovered it like just a year ago, and I'm not really big there because I'm focusing on making videos. But I have a Wizardry 8. I'm in a Wizardry 8 Reddit for now. In Stellaris, I'd be lost there. There's so much in there. It's so interesting. So many engaged users. It's crazy. So let's see what they wrote down here. So Xrile Dex, thank this Reddit user if you can do that. So Babse, how do the rebellion mechanics work? Are armies or slave armies going to switch sides? What about ships? So ships do not switch sides. Armies on the planet can switch sides. New rebels also do not spawn any instant ships, but they can appeal to other empires to help, especially your rivals. So there is something going like in EU4 when you would finance the rebels and they would pop up then and things like this. So you can also have other empires invading because they are supporting a rebel faction of your empire. So it's hard, or it's very important rather to manage those factions well. So let's see. Then Xrel, the user that probably the user that actually wrote this down, were Seeknor just lucky with text, or did Auto-Explore move to earlier position? Auto-Explore comes earlier now, will appear quickly once you have a few planets to manage. So that's also good. I mean, Auto-Explore is the thing that should be up there pretty early on because it makes the game easier. It's just a feel-good thing. It's nothing that gives you a lot of power, it just makes your life easier. Will there be quality of life improvements to the combat system for Utopia, or is that planned for a later date? Nothing major. Balance tweaks. We want to focus on one area of the game at a time, and Utopia focuses on ethics and internal stuff. Yeah, that makes absolutely sense, like to go through the game one by one and improve it step by step after user feedback. That is definitely a good approach. So it has been done repeatedly with EU4 and it keeps the game alive, so it's very good. I have a far future question from Stromlord. I like the idea of private ships in space games like traders, merc, pirates who rob the traders, explorer and so on. Is there a possibility that we'll get someday private ships which are associated to your empire into the game? Which says, I think that would be really cool, Stromlord, but no promises on it, as I'm not sure can be done in a good way that fits into the Stellaris designs. Definitely something we're actively discussing though. So the private ships, remember Privateer? Yeah, that's gonna be fun to have, like autonomous actors that belong to your empire. if we get an improved AI, the neural network Stellaris, then it might be very good. Then a question from Azural. Do you think sectors should have limit on number of planets it can manage? He thinks that is a good idea. I think so too. But I want to see if people still just make one giant sector after all the changes we made. I generally think having several sectors works better. So it's nothing that's coming in banks at least. Yeah, I also think that several sectors works better. So, I mean, you can make one balanced sector. I think that's a good strategy. But I need to go through this before I say yes to Wiz. But I think he's right. And he's the one of the designers, so he might have a clue, right? And a question about XREL, with again the one noting this down, thankfully. Will the civic traits you showed off be something you can choose at Empire Creation? I can't talk more about civics and government, but yes, don't ask me to elaborate. Probably, maybe there's some new civic traits, so let's see. There's going to be a very great design probably available. So are sectors limited to building one building at a time? I only recall seeing one in the notifier, and that would not be efficient in a bigger sector. Oh yeah, that would be bad. But no, they're not. They were in fact building several at a time during the stream. They'll only plan one building at a time. That's because planning happens when they lack resources. So it stands to reason if they don't have minerals for one building, they also don't have for two. So they might only build one, but that's due to planning then. I'd be really interested in the decision process of that AI-ish thing. Another from XREL on the topic of empire creation. Changed it so a modded prescripted empire can set their leader traits from the beginning. Any chance in-game GUI support for that will come down the line? Being able to pick leader traits would be good, I think. No promises on when. Yeah, that would be really fine. But I also think that the random element makes your leaders discernible. So I think there should be two parts of a development, similar to Crusader Kings, where it's like perfect. So you can plan some things, but also some other things happen to you. So you have unique leaders. I think that would be the best thing. I mean, just being able to pick makes the game a little bit robotic, and then you find the best build and then you use that. It's kind of boring. I'm not finding that, the process, but you only find the perfect combination once, and then next time you only repeat. So a little bit of random element would make this funner, I think. So another from Pugbabse. Regarding sectors and faction, do they somehow interact? Would a rebellion be local on a planet or sectors wide, or all the pops in the same faction? So there are currently no interactions between factions and sectors, though we're not quite done with factions. So not giving a definite answer right now. Generally trying things like that to sectors, or tying things like that to sectors, isn't great, since you can't just delete them at will, though. Yeah, you can of course delete the sector, and then you will get rid of the problem. So that's not a good option, probably. Will there be an option to tell people to stop forward settling my stuff? Not in Utopia. So it's like something like in Civ 5 or Civ 6, where you could ask people not to settle near you. And that's, of course, something that is hard to do. So it's a sort of a tricky thing in the sense of, would you actually be willing to reciprocate, or does it just end up being something the player lords over the AI? But at least in the case where you're friends with someone, would be good to be able to agree to stay away from each other's borders. Yeah, to avoid the border frictions. So what next? And here you can see where the link is actually. So you can also find it very easily on Twitter or on Reddit. So a question from Azural. Will there be any new mandates for democracies? Build mining research stations is boring. I want to add more mandates for the factions, but I can't 100% promise it because currently not in. Like I said though, not done with factions. Like we have more work planned before release on factions, but it's not like we're never going to touch them again after Utopia. Yeah, that's also good. I played in democracy, and this exchange, it was typical for a democracy, but it was kind of boring. Yeah, a little bit more variance, maybe new mandates, as well asked, would be fine. Then Ben Kerman. Will genetically modified versions of a species also become psionic? I think so, yes. At least it should work that way, says Wissington. So you would have then like a connection of species to their genetically modified version. Not like it is now that you have then another new species, so it would be some kind of ancestral connection. So, or is it like that? I don't know. If you manipulate only a part of your population and they are xenophobes, will they hate each other? That's a good question. Does anyone has done that and can tell us about that? I'd be happy. So the amount of planets by Battle 7895, the amount of planets needed to build a ring world. Would you need like a system with 5 plus fixed planets, or does it calculate the sizes as well? Do the ring worlds, once you make them habitable, also get some sort of resource like energy credits tiles, or are they totally blank? So answer is 5 plus planets needs to be proper planets though, not moons and such. Yes, they get resources unlike habitats. So nice. So the ring world will be great, but you have to find a good system for it. Next question from Battle 7895. Since you have to build the segment individually, you can theoretically build 4 of the habitable sections right next to each other and keep the rest of the ring just the same. Or is the habitable sections fixed like on Beacon of Infinity? No habitable sections are in predetermined spots, and each one you build also comes with some non-habitable sections. So you basically complete the ring world 1/4 at a time, 1/4 at a time, after building the skeleton, after building the construction site. Because it's a big project. All right. So ring world will be like fixed, so you cannot totally customize it. So you build the skeleton and can then upgrade each section in one step to full functionality without half-complete things like the Dyson sphere. Did I understand that correctly? So Dan Daniel LP, correct. You get no use out of it until you have at least one finished section. Sections are finished in a single step. You can work on all 4 sections at once, theoretically. Then what happens to gas giants and asteroid belts when you build the ring world? Yeah, they go poof, so they disappear and the ring world appears. Can habitats support all life, or just 100% for the builder species? 100% for everyone, so they are really good for everyone, the habitats. So if you conquer habitats, they're just super fine planets, or super fine habitats in that way. Battle 7995, I may as well throw the one that came to mind. Do you have to individually complete each habitable seam of the ring world separate, or do the 4 complete with a combined project? So you individually build the sections. And what does the planetary edict from the Ascension perk do? Consecrated worlds affects happiness and growth. It's an expensive but extremely long-lasting edict. Aha, nice. So you can bless your planets. Wow. Totally Legitonet asks, will fallen empires have some special kind of megastructures? No comment on that right now, by this. So not decided, probably. Or a secret. Or in the next Death Diary. We'll find out. Will Stone Age civs still have unique mechanics to them, or are they just another age? And they are now just another age of a Civ. They don't have buildings. That's about all that differs. Pre-sentients have different mechanics from primitives. Alright. And can you still colonize their planets, or have you to land armies now? You have to land armies. Alright. So this is like making the Stone Age civs similar to all other civs out there. How powerful can you become by ascending? Well, for psionic ascension, I refer you to the dev diary. For the rest, in a coming future dev diary. So there are going to be, I think, at least 2 dev diaries before the expansion comes out, which make it come out somewhere at Easter or something. Maybe, we don't know. We'll see. In mid-March, I would be totally happy with end of March, because there I would have a lot of time again and would be able to make a great start. Does the expansion come with a cosmetic DLC? Asks Prejapse. It will include all relevant graphics and music, but no accompanying cosmetic packs, so no new portraits. Aww. I so hoped for robots, as going with a culture, with the name of the Banks patch being tied to the culture novels of Iron Banks. Well, have to go look at the mods. There are pretty great mods for that, so that's gonna be good. They should just buy that from the mod makers and then let them participate in the money they make and bring it out. That would be totally fine with me. So let's see. Though that's the last questions from the edit. Question and answer with Wiz, which was recorded by Reddit user Xrail. So the livestock food processing endeavor Signor had going, is that going to cause a malice from other empires in trust or like? Wiz says, guess. Yeah, from my own experiences with Purge, I'd say, what do you think? Yeah. Yeah. I saw that some new texts have been added. Asks Valiant Bacon, could you give a number on how many? Wiz says, don't know the number offhand. Sorry, it's a bunch though. So a bunch. How much is a bunch? I'd say maybe 30 or something like that. So Ben Kerman, does QA read all bug reports? There's rarely any dev response on the threads. QA reads everything posted in bug forum. They just probably don't answer to everything posted there. So totally legit not, will Endgame's crisis be affected by your ascensions? Like, will AI still hate me if my empire is full synth already? So he doesn't want to comment on this. Probably going to be very complicated, or they haven't decided yet. And when comes the first Stellaris multiplayer stream? We need to add a proper observer mode, so as soon as we can get a project time budgeted for that, basically. So still gonna be a long time. It would be very fun. I'd love to see how, like, maybe competitive Stellaris players play. That would be a change. Are they in the ESL? I think I saw that. So, is the energy cap higher now? I asked totally legit. Not. I think I saw 12,500 during the stream. Wiz says, yeah, it's higher. The latest non-final number is non-final. Right, that was Wiz on the Reddit. As I said, here is up there is the Reddit. The Reddit link, so just stop the video there and look there for yourself if you want, or just look for it on Reddit, you'll find it easily. Then we have there the Slaves Rally on Vol U. I just included it for the nice picture with a big red fist over here. Don't they know protesting never accomplished anything? Stop it and get back to work, says Martin Arnold. Yes. Never accomplished anything. We'll see about that. Yeah, there are a lot of live examples in the world right now. So let's see. What's next here? Bonus teaser. Stone Age civilizations have been changed to proper primitive civs with pops. Yeah, there is a Stone Age world, and there you can also see something about the ethics. We'll see what these, six-edged symbols mean in the expansion. There's gonna be something new. So, this was the Stellaris Newsweek. It was a little shorter than last week, but there have probably been more deep changes. And maybe Daniel Morregard, who was posting the whole time last week, maybe had some free days. So who knows, right? Who knows what's going to come? I'll keep you informed on the Dev Diary on Thursday. And also next week, around Saturday, there will be another Twitter Newsweek, probably also mostly about Utopia and Utopia expansion coming. So if you're interested in these videos and are not already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Just click on the subscribe button that's going to appear at the end of the video, just in the middle of the screen, or click on the subscribe in the down right corner that's hovering there, like the symbol of my channel, or whatever. Or if you're just interested in the playlist, be informed that the playlist doesn't give you messages when there's new videos in it. So, but you can also subscribe to the playlist only. In the upper right corner, I usually have an info card with a playlist linked. Easier to subscribe to the channel though, and get the message when something new comes out. I always look for the Dev Diaries at the day they are posted. If I'm like there, which is usually the case. I haven't missed one, I think. So, and as I said, as a new feature, I'm going through the Twitter news of the week about Stellaris on Saturday evening, just because I want to know when I want to share, so that you also know and you can give your input. There's always interesting comments. And so I'd like to stay in contact. The easiest to do that is just to subscribe. So happy gaming to you. Have a good time, and see you in one of the next videos about Stellaris, the Let's Play, the guides, all the news videos, all on the channel. Have a good time, guys, and girls and gals, and everyone have a good time. Also transgenders, I love every one of you. Happy gaming.